happy Thursday. Welcome to Kim's Kitchen. I'm excited to come to you from my kitchen with all about the citrus. Specifically today we're going to talk lemons because as you can see I have an overabundance of lemons and so I need to deal with them. And I'm not in the mood to make lemonade or things like that. So I am going to actually preserve lemons for later use. Now, let's talk a little bit about citrus and why fresh lemon juice, lime juice, orange juice, things like that, and not concentrate. One of the reasons I like it better is because I like the fresh flavor that comes from using the fresh citrus. And I just, when lemons and citrus are on sale for a good price, 33 cents a piece, sometimes I get them at the local grocery store, the big ones. And so when I get those, I buy a bunch and then I bring them home and I deal with them. Or you go to the big box store and you get the big bag and you use one or two out of there and you've got these sitting here in your refrigerator and you're like, okay, I need to deal with these. So why acids? The citrus is considered an acid when you're cooking, but why acids in your foods? A couple of things. One is it's fresh. It just adds a freshness to your baked goods and to your cooking. It also enhances other flavors in your cooking. It balances out the bitter and the sweet. And it can be some leavening in your baked goods. So that's why you want to have it. But as you and I both know, we don't always have fresh, or maybe we've let it spoil and we've kind of wasted it. Well, in this time of rising costs and prices at the grocery store, I want to teach you how to preserve some of these things in an easy manner that don't take a lot of time and that really help you utilize and keep what you have by preparing once and then using many, many times. So today, with all of that said, we are going to talk about preserving this citrus. So the first thing I did with them was I actually put them in water and I did a little bit of hydrogen peroxide to help clean them off. And I soaked them in there and that helps take off the wax and any of the pesticides if you don't have organic, the pesticides off of them. So I soaked them in there and then I used kind of like a microfiber cloth or a sponge or a brush or something and just kind of clean them up a little bit and then I rinsed them and then let them dry and I'm ready to go. So I have this whole pile of lemons. I'm not going to do them all in front of you, but I'm going to do a couple and I am going to show you what you can do with it. Now, I want lemon juice and I want lemon zest. So we talked about why the lemon juice. Let's talk about the lemon zest. And you know that the zest is just that peel right from the outside of your lemon or your citrus, whatever citrus you're using. It's also to enhance flavor, and it just adds a freshness and a brightness to especially baked goods and things like that. So when you're cooking, and if you're using zest, if the recipe calls for zest, make sure you add that at the last minute because you don't want the zest to cook down and take away some of the flavor. And then when you're doing it in baking, you just put it in when it's called for in your baking. The other thing that I wanted to say about why to use fresh lemon and not the concentrate is because when you use the fresh, you get way more vitamin C from it than, because concentrate a lot of times is cooked down and then you reconstitute or you just use it in a smaller amount, but you've taken away some of the fresh vitamin C and vitamins. Now, not a bad thing because there's still some, but fresh is better. Fresh is always better, isn't it? So if you're joining me today, again, this is Kim's Kitchen and I'm talking all about the citrus and we're doing lemons today in particular. Coming live to you from my kitchen. So if I mess up or if I talk too long, it's because I'm live and I just find doing a live video is much easier. Of course, I've taken off my glasses so I can't see you all and who is here joining me. But if you're there, give a shout out in the comments and say that you were here and join me live. Tell me something that you love that you learned today, and I'm so excited to have you. So let's say that I'm baking or cooking and I need just one lemon. What I'm going to do with that one lemon is I'm going to use a couple of Pampered Chef products that I love, and one is our adjustable zester. And I like this because you can, like it says, you can adjust it. It's got a little thumb pull down here That's not the right word, but there's a good word for that. But you pull it down and you can close it or you can open it. So you can have it open and you can zest right over top of something. That's always nice when you're doing pasta. Fresh zest over pasta is amazing. Or if you're doing Parmesan cheese, the hard cheeses over pasta or over something, you can use this. It's got a blade guard on the front. And it's got these little tiny holes that take just the zest from the outside edge of the citrus, whatever citrus you're doing. Because you don't want to get down into that white pithy part. That is where the bitterness comes from. You just want the fresh zest from there. A lot of times what I do is I just use it in an easel fashion. So I will set it here and then I just start zesting. And as you can see that zest that's falling off of there? It's lovely, and I'll tell you, the aroma that it's already started smelling in my kitchen is amazing. But you see how I'm just taking off, my lighting is weird, but just taking off the outside. So there's a word for that too. I'll think of it. The white pithy part is in here, and this is the skin. Skin is the word. I think there's another word that I want, but I can't think of it. Bless you, Jack. That's my husband in the background. So I've got just enough for like a teaspoon or a tablespoon of zest if I want, but I also keep in mind, never leave it only half zested. I'm going to zest the whole thing because I'm going to show you in just a few minutes how to preserve your zest for later use by zesting, drying or freezing, and then putting in little Ziploc bags. Then if you want the zest from, or the juice from just one lemon, another tool I use all the time is our citrus press. I love it because when I want just one lemon, now we're gonna take a little side trail, a rabbit trail. I've got my Pampered Chef Santoku knife. I love this knife for almost everything. It's a 5-inch size. It fits beautifully in my hand. It's gorgeously weighted and I love it. But I sometimes need to make sure that I sharpen my knives because I love to use a sharp knife. There's nothing worse than using a dull knife. And this is our Pampered Chef sharpener, and it sharpens like 4 different things. It sharpens straight-bladed knives. It sharpens the little blades that are in like your little manual food processor. It sharpens kitchen shears and scissors. And it also sharpens your food chopper blade. So if you have the Pampered Chef food chopper, and you love it and it's needing to sharpen, this is the tool to have. So I'm just gonna take and 2 or 3 times, just make sure you're doing it away from yourself, and I'm gonna sharpen. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wipe that blade because for any little shards that might have come off of it, and in sharpening up, maybe it had a nick, you've got a good sharp blade to go. So moving on, I'm going to cut, oh, that sliced nice, did you see that? I'm going to slice in half our lemon or citrus, and then I'm going to have out a little prep bowl, and I'm going to put our citrus in, and some of you may or may not know that you want to put your piece of citrus in upside down. Now, if it's bigger than this, maybe it's an orange, you might want to cut it in quarters or a grapefruit or something like that. But I'm just going to go ahead, and you can see all that wonderful citrus juice that's coming out. And then what it does is it actually turns the citrus inside out. The seeds stay on the inside and you are good to go. So now you have zested and you have juiced your citrus. Now I'm just going to use it as I need it. Maybe I need a tablespoon, which is what a lot of recipes call for, or 2 tablespoons, and I'm ready to go. So I'm going to set that aside because the other thing that I really wanted to talk to you about today is when you have a lot of citrus like we do right now we're going to use the citrus juicer and zester. So this is a wonderful product that it's 3 pieces, pretty easy, pretty simple to use. You've got the catcher, I guess I call it, and it's even got some measurements on the side. You've got the juicer, which is, we're going to use that in a minute, and it catches all of your seeds and pulp if you don't want the pulp in there, right there. And then it's also got a zester blade. And the reason I'm going to use this is because I'm going to be able to get things done a lot faster because I'm doing, oops, got to put that back on there, live video, and I pushed it right off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to it here and I'm going to zest. And you can see I'm just zesting right into it. Can you see that? And the zest is coming out inside, but also keep in mind the zest is all right underneath here. So that's where you're going to find all that gorgeous zest that you're going to do. Now, when you have zested all of your lemons or all of your citrus that you're going to do, then what I do is I just take a little sheet pan, I put a piece of parchment paper down in it, and then I put my zest right on it. So let's get some of this off. Again, I would zest all of my citrus at the same time, and then I will juice it. But for the sake of your time and the video, I'm just going to do this one at a time. So then I would fill this right here with all of my zest, put a piece of parchment paper on top, then I will take it to the freezer and I will freeze it up. One thing I forgot to give me just a second, again, live video coming to you from Kim's Kitchen, is our reusable storage bags. Now you could use a Ziploc bag, you could use a container, you can use a lot of things, but I really love the Pampered Chef reusable storage bags because they are, number one, reusable and you don't have to buy them over and over again. Number two, they have a little see-through spot here so you can see what's in there. Easy to use. They're silicone, so they can go in the freezer, they can go in the refrigerator, they can go for lunches, they can go, actually you could even probably put them in the microwave. And so I just can put my zest in there. Let me don't have any zest left, but I can put my frozen zest in this little green one. I love this little mini size. Close it off, get all of my air out of there. I don't know if you can hear that. Get all of my air out of there and then freeze it. You could even put a tag on it if you wanted to. Pop it in the freezer and then you have zest when you need it, because you usually just need a pinch or two of zest whenever you're cooking or baking. The freezer bags come in there's 4 sizes. There's the great big one. You can even do boil and bag with these. I actually did a sous vide steak in here. Then this is a sandwich size, and I love the way it opens like this so that you can stick your whole sandwich in and you're not trying to shove it in and smashing it up. And then the other size that I really like for almost anything in the refrigerator or when you take for lunches is just this little blue size. So there's 4 sizes. You can actually get them in a set of 4. All right, with that said, now I'm going to put the juicing lid on. I'm going to cut this lemon in half, and then I'm just going to take just the old-fashioned way and I'm going to juice her down. So this is, I would cut all of my lemons first. I'd have them all cut and ready to go. And then I just keep on juicing until it gets full, and then, or close to full. And then when it gets kind of close to full, of course, you know, I'm able to keep, really does a nice job. I'm able to keep all my seeds and pulp right in there. Now there is some zest in here because I didn't wash in between uses, but you can see that I've got my juice in here. Now what I'm going to do is, usually for a recipe, I need about a tablespoon of citrus, and that tablespoon of citrus, I can just, you know, if I've got the juice in a jar or a bottle, if I'm going to use it pretty soon, I can put it in a little mason jar and have it in the refrigerator and have my own fresh lemon juice ready to go. Or the way that I really like to do it is I like to either use an ice cube tray, which I couldn't find my ice cube trays. I use these little silicone things, but think ice cube trays if you don't have these. This holds like a tablespoon. So 2 things I can do. One is I can use a tablespoon, just measure it out with our little measuring spoon here for a tablespoon, fill my little holes or my little wells with it. Then I'll fill this whole thing, then I'll put them in the freezer. Then when they're good and frozen, I'll pop them out, and then I'll put them in a reusable storage bag or a Ziploc bag, and they'll be ready to go. When I'm ready to use them, I actually have them in a Ziploc right now because these are the ones I had before I got my reusable storage bags, which are kind of new to Pampered Chef. Then you can see that I have these little frozen discs of lemon juice, and it's just lemon juice. So I just pop that in whatever it is I'm making. I was making some jam and some strawberry sauce the other day, and I needed a little bit of lemon juice in there, and I just grabbed one of these out and threw it right in. And so while the strawberries were cooking, it melted, and it was my fresh lemon juice in there. So I'll just keep that in the freezer. Again, this is going to make probably, I don't know, let's check this out, because you don't even have to use the teaspoon, of course, because like I said, this makes, or tablespoon, makes about a tablespoon. So that lemon was, and that's usually what it comes out to. A nice, normal, large size lemon usually comes out to anywhere from 2 to 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. And that's what I have, is 4 tablespoons right here. So I am going to finish juicing, zesting, juicing, and storing my citrus. I just wanted to share this with you today because this is a time of kind of rising prices in the grocery store. So anything that you can do to save yourself some dollars at the grocery store. And also, I got to tell you, it's just fun. It's nice to make your own stuff. It's nice to have your fresh citruses from the kitchen, and anything else that you do that you can cook once, serve a number of times. So when I say cook, I know I'm not cooking right now, but this is in preparation for cooking. All right, so thank you guys for joining me. I look forward to seeing who was with me. Again, make sure you say hi, tell me something you might have learned, or maybe you know something that is another tip for using citrus in your cooking and in your baking. But again, I want to thank you for joining me in my kitchen, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and may all your cooking be pampered. Bye-bye.